Hey there, hi there, Pisces. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your spiritual warfare reading. So, what this translates to is basically anybody, anything, any type of energy really that is projecting a certain negative um, energy your way. Okay, Pisces. So, um, really what's happening here is that you're going to need to let go of some of these people, some of these places, some of these things that are energetically draining you, and you're going to want to establish yourself and find yourself again. And not so much, and I'm not getting like very linear like movement here. Okay, I'm getting like sporadic energies. I'm getting like almost like tendrils. Like you have this way of reaching certain like audiences. I'm getting certain groups, certain people at certain times in your life, Pisces, when you feel energetically drained, when you feel like you've given so much and you're not getting anything in return. That is when your energy kind of like sparks, and whoever can see that spark, like, and it doesn't matter where you are, it's far off distances here, they can see that spark, they can see that light, and they're able to find you. And those are your people, those are your tribe. Now, you might not always agree on every aspect of everything going on in the world right now, but that doesn't mean that these people that can see your spark don't believe in you as far as like a beautiful soul that you are. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this magical action spread for you from this Runik Tarot book. All right, to ward off negative energies, to shield you from negative aspects and energies in your life. Um, so we have here a magical action is no different from normal actions. It is often a symbolic representation that is shaped by will and intent, and in turn shapes and affects the world. It is a symbol of real action and carries the same burdens and responsibilities, both ethical and facing the consequences of our choices, and in understanding the sacrifices needed by our commitment. Representation of intent. This card is not drawn randomly, but it is chosen by the current. It represents what the current wants to achieve. And what you want to achieve right now, I feel like, is this moon energy, Pisces. Okay? I feel like you're a little bit at odds here. You're a little bit at war here. There's a lot of inner conflict happening because you want to protect yourself. And look at this tiny, beautiful little rose right here with this light of rainbow light around it. Like, you want to feel safe. You want to feel protected. Okay? And you have to sometimes go to battle. Sometimes we do have to go to war with ourselves in order to find ourselves. Sometimes there's a part of us that does want to surrender ourselves to these negative forces and these negative energies because they're so forceful. And that's their intent. Their intent is to be a force of negative energy. Their intent is to come to destroy us and our light and our peace and all the progress and all the work that we have done. And they feel entitled to taking away all that we have earned for ourselves. They take away our respect. Okay. So let's take a look here at this moon energy. Okay. All right, Pisces. The moon is a card of hidden lore and dark secrets. Humanity has always seen fear in the darkness. It casts shadows and doubt, and our minds create monsters from where none exist. The moon, especially when it is full, acts as a flashlight. It illuminates the recess of places just enough to see. However, the light isn't bright enough, especially during an eclipse. In this image, the forces of good and shadow clash together. The light is doing its best to protect the delicate rose, while the shadow side seems to be more assertive and overpowering. When the moon gets drawn, it is time to pay attention to the shadows in your life. What fears do you have? What dark places exist in your mind? How can you use the forces of light to push back those voices inside your head telling you negative things? How can you be a force of good? Where does the imagination come in to help challenge and befriend your skills? Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like this spark here, this is your friend coming in. I feel like you have an ally coming in. Now, you guys, the thing about friendships, I feel like, is you don't always have to agree on everything, but you have mutual respect for one another. That's what makes a friendship. What makes an enemy is someone where you may have things in common, but ultimately this person does not have your best interest at heart. Um, they appear to do so, but deep down they don't. They don't respect your differences. They use your differences against you, things like that. That's an enemy, okay? So, um, looked in battle for survival, reveal your dark side, deal with uncertainty, dreams, look past illusions, introspection, face your fears. Okay? So, why I think you need a friend right now, okay, Pisces? Lack of clarity, look for the light, decipher shadows, examine the details of your life. Something is out of place. Yeah, so this is why your friend is coming in for you now this time, Pisces, okay? We have Elhaz and Ophelia. Sorry. Othala. I pronounce words the way I see them. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know, and I don't care. I just pronounce them the way I see them. Maybe my brain is broken. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. Protection, overcoming the limits, maintain purity, explore beyond consciousness and experience. Elhaz is the word for elk because it is shaped like the antlers on the animal. This rune is said to come from the underworld. It's fitting that this rune carries the energy of the unconscious. This is a powerful protective rune. This rune is a reminder to conserve your energy. Othala is the rune representing the ancient lands. Clans owned their property, and it was the birthright of future generations to keep the property in the family system. Vikings had a tight relationship with the land. Not only did they farm and tend to cattle, but they also gave offerings to the land rights and spirits who inhabited the world alongside them. Okay, so right now this rose here, you're fighting to protect this. This is your home. This is your birthright. This is your soul. I'm getting consciousness here. I'm getting in and out of consciousness here. Something was broken. Something was shattered, heartbroken, destroyed. Someone betrayed your trust. Yeah, I normally typically don't bring in other cards unless I feel very drawn to it, but I do feel very drawn to it now at this time, Pisces. Look at this. Somebody broke your heart, Pisces. They betrayed your trust. This is your family lineage. Okay, hands are very powerful. Okay, there are many lines on hands, but I'm not getting like linear. I'm getting like more like lineage, like bloodline. Okay, that's bloodlines are never one straight line. Okay, that's why it's like a tree. Because it's all like zigzagging around. Really, like, one person marries this person, then they go do all this stuff. Another person marries this person, they go do all this stuff. Women today, some of us, we don't even sign up for marriage, or we do, and then we're like, that person that's a bad apple, that's a bad seed, right? Cut that branch off. But yeah, like, I'm getting, you are built your roots here, okay? Bad karma, yeah. Somebody did you dirty, Pisces. Now we have the Page of Wands from my Mean Girls deck. And this also here is the Eight of Swords. There are many layers here, like an onion I'm getting, like from Shrek. I like cake more than I like onions. I have a sweet tooth, so I'm more of a cake person than an onion person. But this still applies though. It's like I'm also getting scent, like allure. I'm getting like perfumes. I'm getting pheromones. I'm getting like natural body odor. Like that might sound gross to some people, but I feel like if you're not attracted to the way someone smells or their scent, that can be that person may not be your friend. That sounds mean. That sounds harsh. No, I'm not saying like we can sweat in our body odor, like whatever, that's fine. But I'm saying like there's something here about like you feeling like being around somebody that, like, look at this woman. She's looking in this reflection of her, right? And she's all tied up in this reflection. She's not, but as she's looking at herself, she's not scared. This woman doesn't even look scared. She looks like, okay, I'm tied up, I'm blindfolded, okay, whatever. Like, I don't feel like you're out of control here. I feel like you know that you're tied to something. I'm getting soul ties. I know that you can't always see things, but justice doesn't need to literally see to know right from wrong. You don't need to, like, know right from wrong to know right from wrong. You know someone did you dirty. You know someone betrayed your trust. Look at this woman. She's got, like, she's dressed as like a corpse bride, vampire bride. Right? She didn't go all sexy to the Halloween party. Like, Lindsay Lohan didn't choose that route. She chose a more freakish, ghoulish Halloween costume. Right? This sets her apart. This makes her a little bit different. I'm also getting, like, black sheep of the family. Alright, so, yeah, so I drew 2 extra cards here for this magical action, but this is like part of your intent, and this is what's going to sort of like merge us with your representation of will here, okay? So the Page of Wands, okay, let me see here. And this is the 8 of Swords, okay. So your 8 of Swords, okay, this is going to be interesting. The 8 of Swords describes a bleak situation, 1 tired warrior against 7 unseen assailants. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, I feel like you can tie yourself energetically, and you can blind yourself on energetic, I can't even speak correctly today. Okay, energetically, here we go. Okay, I feel like you can tie yourself, bound yourself, blindfold yourself energetically for the intent that you're not surrendering to these assailants, you're not surrendering to these negative forces, but I'm getting like a Trojan horse type situation, okay? Not the condom. I'm talking about, maybe, I don't know if this applies to you, but I know I'm talking more of like the story of Odysseus, like this the story of Troy, like how they trapped themselves in the horse. They bound themselves energetically to a much larger force than themselves could ever be. They couldn't be a literal giant horse that could just tear through something. They had to mastermind. They had to plan a trap, if you will. And I feel like sometimes the art of surrender is the art of release. So I'm feeling that you know this already, and yes, she may need to appear as a prisoner, but she's really a full-blown warrior here. She has her arrows here, like Katniss Everdeen. She had to blend in. Yes, she was trapped in the Hunger Games, but really this trapped feeling was just an illusion that brought her to a much higher consciousness and a state of being. She was a huntress. She was a warrior. And through this experience, she was able to learn and master the art of war, master the art of battling physically these, other players, but also on a much higher level. Like if you look at it from like more of like a spiritual perspective or even a psychological perspective, she was able to battle the greatest enemies of all, right? Like that guy Snow. So, yeah, so there cannot be a happy ending. Note how the swords are clean. Okay, so yeah, so I'm using obviously a different deck than that, but I'm gonna just use this one here. Tarot for beginners. Okay, we're going back to the beginning here. We're new. oops, what do we know? We know nothing. I always feel like the greatest like gamers, the greatest leaders, they always go back to the basics. They always go back to the beginning. They don't act like they know everything or they're better than everybody else. They're so humble and so like fresh and new every single day. A tarot guide, beginner's guide of tarot. Okay. So I've been reading tarot for like almost 6 years, I want to say, roughly, roughly almost 6 years. That doesn't mean I know everything, though, because I don't. And I actually spent majority of that time watching other readers, not really so much like picking up books and buying a bunch of cards. That came much later, but really just immersing myself in these other tarot readers' worlds and their collective experiences. So, anyway, no one cares about that. Origin story, boring. No, just kidding. Eight of Swords. Okay. Restriction, confinement, self-imposed limitations. Sometimes we do need to limit ourselves for a reason, okay? So this card symbolizes a situation where you may feel trapped. That doesn't mean you are. It just means that you feel that way, or you're giving out the illusion that way. Okay, unable to move forward or bound by mental constraints, or physical, right, or spiritual, or psychological, or emotional, whatever resonates with you. The figure in this card stands blindfolded with her hands tied, surrounded by 8 swords. However, if she were to remove her blindfold and take a step forward, she would realize that she is not as confined as she believes. The 8 of Swords encourages you to recognize that the limitations you may face be more mental than physical, and that it's possible to break free from your self-imposed constraints. It signifies a time to confront your fears and gain mental clarity. Okay? So, yeah. The reverse side of this, which is you're in need of the reverse side here, okay, coming from your spiritual friend here, okay. You do want to empower yourself, okay. Self-empowerment, gaining clear vision suggests that you are breaking free from mental constraints that have held you back. Again, self-confidence and seeing a path to move forward. This is when your like friend comes in, okay. I need my mom fuel. Look at my mug. It says mom fuel on it. It's so cute. And then after you drink all the coffee, it says something like you are loved or something like that. Need it. Okay. So the 8 of Swords serves as a reminder of your capacity to overcome challenges and the importance of self-belief and mental clarity. It encourages you to embrace your inner strength and the ability to navigate difficulties with a clear mind. Okay? So, it says here the blindfold represents a lack of awareness and mental restriction. However, I do feel like because you are seeing both sides to this, you were seeing the blindfolded version and the not blindfolded version, you're actually seeing the difference here between those that actually lack self-awareness versus those who are self-aware. Okay? So it's not so much something that you've imposed on yourself. It's something that you have learned and that you continuously need to learn. And it's a lesson that repeats itself from time to time. Okay? All right, so now that that's been established, okay, we're no longer limiting ourselves here. We may give the appearance or the illusion that we are limited for a specific reason during this like war that we're dealing with. However, it doesn't mean we actually are. Okay. So Page of Wands. Okay. This is enthusiasm, exploration, and new opportunities. This card symbolizes a time when you're embracing a fresh and adventurous approach to life. It signifies an eagerness to explore uncharted territories, pursue creative projects, or embark on new adventures. The Page of Wands encourages you to be open to exciting opportunities and embrace your creative and passionate nature. It symbolizes a time of curiosity and a willingness to take risks in pursuit of your dreams. Okay? And that's what you're doing. And I also feel like this is your representation of will, is like your dreams are coming true because you aren't limiting yourself anymore. You might have had to be in a situation where you felt limited, or be in a situation that brought out your ability to survive because of the limitations pressured onto you. But it doesn't mean you're eliminating yourself. It just means sometimes we are put in these situations where we feel like we have no other choice, and we have to fight for ourselves. We have to defend ourselves. And that is you standing up for yourself. That is not limiting yourself at all. And maybe people think it is. Maybe people think your reaction to feeling this attack or feeling this pressure, and maybe they're like, oh wow, look at Pisces standing up for herself, like, good for her. But at the same time, she already, like, didn't she get herself in this situation? That's a red flag for friendships. Okay, run in the opposite direction of that energy, because really, if these people can't stand up for themselves, but they want to explore an option where you become available to them, Pisces, in order for them to avoid dealing with their situation, that's a red flag for friendship. Okay, you can be their friend and you can listen to them and you can be like a support person in their life, but you can't do the work for them. They have to do the work. You can show them the way. You can say, this is all of the what's it called, all the steps that I've taken, all the processes that I have processed to get where I am, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it for you, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be your like escape either. And what it means really is that these are the steps you have to take, and if you're willing to take them, great. If not, don't come to me for those steps. And I'm getting that sense of like awareness here where they lack some of that. I'm not saying you can't be friends with them, but just know that that's not, they haven't fully integrated yet, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is your representation of will. This card and the two that follow are drawn randomly after shuffling the deck. It represents the core it can rely on in order to fuel their action and proceed according to their intent. And we have the Queen of Wands. Okay, and virtually, I have seen this card in reversed a lot during times where I feel like energetically people were trying to put you on like a stage or like a pedestal or something here, and to try to like make you out to be someone you're not. And I feel like when that spotlight was put on you to like act a certain way or do something to submit, this isn't the same as the art of surrender. This is more of a submission of feeling pressure on yourself to be someone you're not. And I feel like those days are over, Pisces. And I feel like whenever you see the Queen of Wands in reverse, that is an indicator to your higher sense. And I've also seen it paired with the High Priestess as well, multiple times actually. And I feel, and the High Priestess was in the upright position, because the High Priestess is telling you, trust your intuition. Do not put on a show for these people. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so yeah, this Queen of Wands, okay. I'm definitely gonna have to do another dream series after this. Oh my god, seriously. Okay, Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands teaches us to live life passionately, from what they wear to how they hold themselves. They have all the confidence. It's like negativity cannot affect this Queen's mood. They are bold and radiant, and they are here to remind you that you have these talents inside you as well. It's time to take a step out and live your life authentically. Okay, upright, live a passionate life, claim your power, do things with a personal flair, have defiant boundaries, understand your motivations. Reverse, guarded, jealous, dramatic personality, wearing masks which do not fit you, withdraw from the limelight. Bind rune, take joy in handling your destiny. Fire, creative power, outer strength, passions and desires. Water, spiritual power, inner strength, searching of emotions. Okay, so Yeah. Pretty much what's happening here is like your friend, your bestie, okay, is showing up to the party and being like, maybe Pisces, you don't want to be at this particular party. Maybe you don't want to be around these particular people. Maybe you actually want to leave this scene and go hang out with your own tribe, your own people, the ones that get you, that understand you, that respect you. And you don't need to feel like you need to put on a show for certain people either. Like, what's to say or who's to say that you can't just be like authentically yourself without having other people tell you what you are, who you are. And maybe the reason why certain people, I feel like, are messaging you or commenting on your like posts or liking your videos or liking this or hearting that or whatever, like, because I'm getting a very specific message right now. Like, I'm really picking up very strongly on someone who does their own thing without expecting a reaction. And when they get a reaction, that they're appreciative of like those that connect, but at the same time they can see those that are like fake smiles and fake laughs and fake likes and fake hearts, and those that are real. And I'm picking up very strongly right now, there is someone around you, Pisces, that sees the real you, that sees the authentic version of you. And that person, they don't want you to get lost in the shuffle and the mix and the like experience of, you know, like other people like taking you and taking your energy from you and forcing you into a like Hunger Games situation. If anything, they're willing to jump in there right alongside you and fight with you. And at the same time, while they're fighting with you, they also want to like not rescue you or save you, but like be like one with you or be whole with you again. Like, I'm really picking up strongly energetically, like there's this like this mirage or something here in, yeah, I don't know, just ignore me. Blah. Okay, so sacrifice, representation of sacrifice, it represents understanding that in order to gain something, something must be surrendered. Letting go can be as much important as to grasp. Eight of Cups. Okay, this is the card of letting go. There's the art of surrender, the art of release, and then there is just, you know, being taken advantage of, right? And I feel like this person doesn't want you to be taken advantage of. They want, and I feel like so strongly, Pisces, that like this has happened to you pretty recently, actually. I feel like you've been taken advantage of, like you feel like you've been violated, okay, in some way, shape, or form. I mean, that's what spiritual warfare's intentions are to make you feel invalid or make you feel violated in some way, shape, or form. But do not get so stuck in that you lose yourself, okay? Because that isn't like, you're not just this person that's a victim. You're a fighter, you're a survivor, okay? I also feel like there are people who don't respect your process. Like, if you've been hurt and they know you've been hurt and they take advantage of that and they laugh at you when they know you're going through something serious and like send like inappropriately like emotionally detached messages or comments, like, do you not understand the severity of this situation? Like, I can't believe I have to even explain it to someone like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, look at their past behaviors, look at their past actions. Maybe this person isn't really a friend. Maybe they're just like, you know, a troll, right? Maybe they are. You know, maybe they're just a heckler. Maybe they're just a frenemy, right? Like, take a look here at the big scope of things, okay? And that's what your friend is here for. That's what your bestie is here for, to point out, like, we might not agree on everything, but we have mutual respect for one another. That's a difference. If someone doesn't even have mutual respect for you, that's not a friend, okay? It takes a certain level of maturity. So 8 of Cups, let's take a look here. 8 of Cups. The 8 of Horns represents an opportunity to travel. Something is missing in your life, and now is the perfect opportunity to take time away. Go in search of the peace. As the Horns too represents emotions, you could be looking for an emotional connection or a transformative breakthrough. Turning your back on everything is not an easy task. There is commitment to being taken seriously here. To dive deep for an answer. The 8 of Horns reminds us that the only way to reach a destination is to put one foot in front of the other and move. Seek higher ground, separation, take a new journey, going deeper with your connections, turn your back. Reverse, stick with the moment, reunion, feeling lost, standing still, stress, and burnout. Find root, apologize to move beyond the disagreement. Red is a plan long in the making. Con is a passion for a purpose. KW suggests unhappiness due to other people's words. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to have to let go of the humiliation or the disagreements or whatever hurt you may have felt from these certain people that have attacked you. You're going to have to let that go. And okay, and I did get this really important message the other night in the dream world. I know, right? But I did get this important message that forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. So if they're begging you and pleading you to forgive them, you absolutely do not need to comment or message or speak with these people that have hurt you and say, oh yeah, I forgive you, welcome back into my life. No, absolutely not. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is actually running in the complete opposite direction of these people as far away as humanly possible as you can go. And once you do that, you are going to be reunited with a very close friend, a close ally, a close confidant of some sort. And I think this person, like picking up strongly on this, is that, yeah, they're very ego-driven and they're very passionate and they're very creative, but they're not there to destroy you. They're not there to hurt you. They're not there to humiliate you. You might not agree on everything, but they don't disrespect you, and they might not have all the answers you're seeking for. I mean, who does? But they show up right in the nick of time. Maybe their name's Nick. I don't know. Maybe it's Nick Jonas. I don't know. I was just watching Mystical Kitchen the other day, and the Jonas Brothers were on there, and Nick was having a moment. He's my favorite. Okay, I did not grow up. I know it's so crazy and weird, but I actually did not grow up listening to their music. I had a very sheltered childhood from that. But the one brother that I always felt the strongest connection to was Nick. Okay, and he was having a moment, he was crying, he's very emotional. Anyways, I don't know, maybe your friend's name is Nick, I don't know. But whatever the case may be here, I do feel like this person shows up right in the nick of time. I feel like they're just gonna appear, and they might say or do things that seem a little bit out there, but that's what you have in common with this person. Maybe not so much exactly what they're saying or exactly what they're doing, but you understand them somehow, in some level, in some way. They speak a language that maybe translates to, okay, we're both we are creative types, and that's what we have in common. Okay, our individuality is what it links us together. And I'm getting the sense that once you run away from these I'm getting two very specifically, two masculine energies that have done you dirty. Oh my God, Pisces. And I feel like you forgave and tried, and they just kept messing up. They are not your friends. Okay, Pisces. They are not your allies. They are your enemies. They were sent here to destroy you and break you down. And I'm not saying they were successful, and I'm not saying you deserved it, but you have learned the lesson, and now it is time for you to share the lesson you have learned, Pisces, and move forward and show friendship, show connection through your work, through your own life, and you're going to feel so much better once you do this, okay? So what you're sacrificing here is you're letting the enemies go, right? You're like, I'm not doing this shadow work for these people anymore. They got to do it themselves, okay? So we have representation of consequences. It represents how the situation may evolve and change, and it points out the responsibilities of the court for the good and the bad. Okay, so we have here the two of the shields. Yeah, two shields. Okay, this always reminds me of Lagatha and oh great, no, I can't even remember his name. Ragnar. Okay, from that show Vikings. Okay, they definitely were soulmates. Still, Ragnar done fucked that shit up. But anyways, they're sitting, they're here, they're eating a meal together, they're taking a break here from their hunting out there together. They're in a valley. The sun is bright and shining. Okay, so this two of shields. Okay, let's take a look here at this. Okay. The two shields. Okay, so this is understanding the law of cause and effect. Growth is a messy process, and sometimes as we take on more, it causes other areas of life to be out of harmony. Instead of juggling multiple things in the air, this card asks us to look at the core challenges we face and see what we can do to find the balance again. What obstacles or challenges are you facing? What help do you need assistance? Overextending yourself leads to more burnout. It does no one any good. Taking a break, handling your energy levels, finding the path, equilibrium, juggling more than you can. Reverse, too many concurrent tasks, being too rigid, being taken for granted, narrow-minded view. Bind rune, adjust yourself until you reach balance. Red is the ability to skillfully use all available tools. Okay, so really what you're doing here is you are, if you're not giving to yourself enough, or if you're not balancing out these connections, if you're letting too many negative forces into your life, you constantly are going to have to be fighting those off, and you're going to constantly be leading to burnout. So if you are feeling burnout right now, if you are feeling overextended, if you are feeling stressed out, it's time to put on those blocks. It's time to put on the do not disturb, TND. Like, it's time to energetically not even respond to some of these messages coming in, or these energies coming in, because ultimately here you have one message and one message only. That is the Queen of Wands. Okay, and she's saying, like, you tried your best to fit in, you responded to some of these negative energies coming your way, you tried your best, but at the end of the day it just left you feeling more depleted and more stressed out, because that's what that energy does. That energy depletes you, an energy that feeds you and nourishes your body, nourishes your mind, nourishes your soul, an energy that gives to you and you give to it, and there's that equilibrium in there, that's that balance. You're not going to feel depleted. You're actually going to feel brand new and renewed and restored. There's a huge difference, okay? And you're learning all these lessons because you're like, well, I wish everyone was like always so great and wonderful. Yeah, okay, but the reality is that that's not the case, okay? So that's my message for you, Pisces. Just like, remember, at the end of the day, like, you don't need to entertain everybody. You don't need to serve everybody. If you've already entertained a group of people, if you've already served a bunch of people, now it's their turn to serve you. Now it's their turn to entertain you. Now it's their turn to come up with ideas of ways they can show up for you. You don't always have yourself open to serving. And then, especially, you know what I really don't like? I really don't like people who say they want to serve you, or say people that say they want to be open to you, and then it's their time to shine, and they run away. It's like, okay, like, cool, you know what I'm saying? It's not cool, right? And it's not okay. So So you need to leave those people behind. Those people are like begging and pleading you to forgive them. Those aren't your people. Your people don't beg and plead for you to forgive them. Your people show up for you. They remind you that you have not done anything wrong or anything that deserves negative treatment or negative energies that are thrown your way. In fact, if anything, they put up more protection for you. They put up more ways of supporting you. Okay, so look for those signs. Okay, and synchronicities or synchronicities. I know I'm getting in trouble for that last one because there's a tarot reader out there who like hates that. Uh, oh well, I love to cringe. Bye now, Pisces.